Hey there. I've just had my first smile of the day. I've had a really tough time, but my daughter's boyfriend has just made me this beautiful daisy chain and brought it to me, and it made me smile for the first time properly today. So sweet. He's just we've been out and we've got home and he's made the lawn for us, and Lydia's washed up and I'm so proud of them. I wanted to make a video earlier to just document what was happening really and how I was feeling, but I just didn't have the time and the strength to do it. But it's been a really hard time recently. There's been so much going on. Paul had an operation 2 weeks ago, so he's not been able to do a lot physically. He hasn't been able to lift things and bend, and there's been a lot of things obviously with his recovery that he's just had to take it easy, but the fact that he's my carer as well at home has made it really difficult. So I've been trying to do things to look after him, and then that caused me to flare up with all my symptoms, and then I ended up flat out in bed for 5 days. I could hardly move last week, and then after that I rallied a little bit and had a couple of days where I was able to do things a little bit again, not much but a bit. And then Lydia started her GCSEs on Friday, and it's Sunday today. That was 2 days ago. I've had a really emotional week actually. I've cried a few times this week, and it's really unlike me, but everything's just got so on top of me, my own health and lack of health. And then with Paul not being able to do stuff and me not being able to be there to help him with practical stuff, it got to me as well. And Lydia's GCSEs, I don't even know where to start, but excuse me, my throat's so croaky at the moment, so dry. And so basically with Lydia's GCSEs, she's needed a lot of help and support. She's been through a really tough couple of years with her own mental health and just not coping with school. And I think I've mentioned in previous videos, we found out that she'd got autism, and that's why she was struggling so much. But it kind of came a bit late in the day really, because she'd started self-harming by then and her confidence had got really low. So as a result, basically, she's missed a lot of school and she hasn't been to school for a long time. We've had tutors for her at home, which has obviously helped her, but we had to have a long conversation with the exams department at the school a few weeks ago about access arrangements and what they can do to support her so that she can sit her GCSEs. And we spent a long time putting things into place and making sure that excuse me, that all the things that could be a barrier to Lydia being able to sit them would be able to be sorted out and dealt with. So Friday morning, although she was nervous, we were sort of saying to her, well, look, you know, this is going to be in place, that's going to be in place, and it's all going to be okay. And she came home from her morning exam, and all the things that were supposed to be in place, well, quite a lot of the things that should have been in place weren't. So she'd gone in trying to be positive, and again, stuff that's been promised, help that's been promised, support that's been promised, just been let down again. I've lost count. I've just lost count of the number of different agencies that have just let her down time and time again. And I'm so exhausted of fighting this battle. It's just, I already have chronic fatigue without adding all this on top as well. And it's just so hard. So Lydia was really upset Friday, so I had to write a long email to the school explaining what had gone wrong. And I thought, oh, by Friday afternoon, things will settle down, you know. They've got the first exam out of the way out of the day of the, you know, I've got the first exam out of the way. Things will settle down and it'll be better. And Thursday afternoon, she went in. And when I picked her up, she came out in floods of tears. And I thought, oh my gosh, what's happened? And my first thought was it's the paper, because she was really worried about the sociology paper. And when she finally managed to talk to me, she said, oh, it was awful. It was awful. I said, what happened? And she said, oh, it wasn't the paper. The paper was actually easier than I thought it was going to be. And I was like, what? How, you know, how has everything gone so badly wrong then? And just the invigilators, the exams team, it just gone from bad to worse. I couldn't believe how badly, not only how badly they'd messed up in the morning, but then they'd managed to mess up again and even more in the afternoon. And I was just like, I don't understand this. I keep on explaining things. I'm sorry, this is really wobbling. I've got it on the tripod and for some reason it's not very stable. I was like, I don't understand. I keep on explaining, telling them, you know, this is what she needs, this is what she struggles with. And everybody says, yes, that'll be there, we'll sort this, we'll do this. And then nothing. She keeps getting let down at every turn. And I'm so frustrated for her. I'm so exhausted myself as well. Just beyond exhausted. I'm so overwhelmed with everything and with my own pain and chronic fatigue flaring up so badly as well. I just feel like I'm just so like empty in terms of what I've got to give at the moment. I just feel like I'm exhausted mentally and physically and emotionally. So that brings us on to today. So today's Sunday. I was in bed all day yesterday because I was wiped out from Friday. And this morning in church was the annual church meeting, and they were going to be introducing the new parish nursing position, which I'm overseeing the steering group for. So I've been putting together like the job description and all that stuff and the advert and everything. So I had to be there this morning, and I haven't been to church in over a year apart from Christmas and Easter, because it's so hard for me to get up and get out and be ready for that time in the morning. But I knew I had to be there this morning, so I made a massive effort. I can't even describe to you how much effort it took me to get myself up that early, to get ready, get out. And normally, because of my health, Paul normally pushes my wheelchair, but because of his operation, because of his operation, he couldn't do that. He can't do that yet. So I said, okay, well, Shop Mobility opens at 10. So I said, I'll drop you at the church and then I'll go and park in the council car park. I'll pick up a mobility scooter from Shop Mobility as soon as they open at 10, and I'll come straight down. So I'll be like 10 minutes late or something, but you know, that's the only way we can do it. So I dropped him off on time. I was ready on time. I was outside the church 10 minutes before the service started, dropping Paul. But then I had to drive to the car park, and I got out and went up to the door of Shop Mobility. And it says on all the signs, opens at 10 a.m. on Sundays. And it was closed. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can't cope with this morning. On top of everything, I just can't have this as well, you know. And I thought, oh, maybe they're just running a few minutes late. So I thought, I'll just wait. So there was no bench there. So I got my coccyx cushion and I had to sit on the wall with it. And nobody came. So I put the service on YouTube on my phone. So I'm sat in the church, in the multi-story car park, watching the church service that I made massive effort to get to. I'm sitting there in the car park watching it on YouTube, which I could have just as easily done from my bed at home. So I was really, what's the word? I was struggling with that emotionally, and I was on my own in the car park. I really wanted to be around people at church and just be able to be there once once in a blue moon. That was it today, you know. I just wanted to see people and just be there. And at 10:30, somebody turned up to open the shop mobility up, and they said, "Oh, are you okay?" Because they saw I wasn't looking very happy. I was quite upset by then. Are you all right? And I was like, no, actually, I'm not all right. I said, I don't want to be grumpy, but I said, I've been waiting here since 5 to 10. And we checked on your website this morning and it says you open at 10. We've checked on all the signage everywhere. Everything says 10. All the publicity says 10. We haven't opened, and we've been opening at 10:30 ever since we took over in like November. I was like, well, if you've been opening at 10:30, how come nobody changed it on the website, or nobody stuck a 3 over the sign, you know, on the 10 o'clock bit, the o'clock? All it needs is someone to change that 0 into a 3. That's not difficult to do. I didn't say that to her, but I was just like, I don't believe this. Like, people are relying on this service to be able to live their lives, and that's just like, oh, we can't be bothered, you know, we'll turn up when we turn up, sort of thing. And in the time I'd been waiting, 3 other people had turned up to use the service as well. They'd waited for a bit and then they'd gone again. And I'm like, and they checked online as well. They checked all the publicity. So anyway, I got the scooter it was just after 10:30. And then I had to get myself to the church. So I went as fast as I could go, which is pretty slow in the scooters, to be honest, but still as fast as I could go. All the way I was driving there, I was listening to the service on YouTube, trying to keep up with what was happening and trying to catch up with the message and everything. And by the time I got to the doors of the church, I got there just in time for the communion, which was 5 minutes before the end of the service. 5-10 minutes maybe maximum before the end of the service. I literally arrived at the end. And as I went in, I just couldn't stop. I just couldn't stop myself from crying. I just felt so upset and frustrated, and I've made such a huge effort to get here this morning. Such a massive effort. And because of things that are beyond my control, I missed virtually the whole service. And I just felt, I don't know, it's the first time I've ever felt like giving up today. I try really hard to be positive all the time. I try to be smiley all the time, and I try to be happy all the time and looking on the bright side of things. And, you know, all people see is, you know, that I'm smiling and, oh, I must be fine. And even though I tell people I'm struggling, people haven't got a clue how hard it is. And I try so hard to keep it all in and to just deal with it, partly because when I get upset, it's hard to be positive, and I don't want to be like that. I just feel let down by so many people. It's not any one person in particular or anybody's fault, but it's just like systems, you know, groups, organisations, whatever, council, the school. It just seems like every time there's a system that's in place that's supposed to be supporting people, every time we've just been promised things and let down, or people haven't been there to support us. And I find this really hard to say because I don't want to be critical, but I felt really hurt by church as well, because even though I haven't been there for nearly a year, I haven't even, in all that time, like, nobody's contacted me and said, how are you doing? We've missed you. We've noticed you haven't been here. I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel so alone at the moment. There's so much I'm struggling with. There's so much I'm trying to fight for our own daughter and for my own health needs. But at the same time, I'm also trying to fight on behalf of so many people in the community who also need help and don't know where to go to get it. And I'm just doing the utmost I can to share information with people, to support people, to be there for people. But then I sometimes feel like, who's there for me? You know, when I need this help. I don't want to need help, and I don't even like accepting help, but at the moment I just have to acknowledge, actually, there's some things I do need help with. My mum's been helpful. She's cooked a couple of meals for us, which has been really, really lovely. And they've done some washing up for us. And we've had 2 friends make a meal for us. One lovely friend's made 2 meals for us, which has been so helpful while Paul's been poorly. But I just think, gosh, I'm surrounded by people that I know, people that I talk to, and people that, I don't know, just, I don't know, just don't even see the struggle that I'm going through, and that feels quite lonely. So yeah, I know this month is fibromyalgia, ME, EDS awareness month, long-term chronic health conditions in May, and you know, I just really hope I can do my part to raise more awareness and try and help. Oh my gosh, I've been talking for 18 minutes. I need to go. I'm so sorry. If you've made it to the end, well done. Thank you for listening. And yeah, just if you know somebody, just check in on them, see how they're doing, and if they say they're fine, see how they're really doing. Hopefully my next message will be a bit happier. But thank you, Josh, so much for my daisy chain, because you made my day today. Really, really did. Bye, see you next time.